You're watching Cox Connections only on Cox Nova. The Falls Church-McLean Children's Center provides children from working families a safe, high-quality learning program to build the skills needed for success in school and life. Here to talk with us about their programs and how they're growing is their Executive Director, Kathy Banks. Kathy, welcome.
Thanks
for joining us.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Tell us about the Falls Church-McLean Children's Center and give us an overview.
The Falls Church-McLean Children's Center is a 501c3 nonprofit early learning center, and we have children that come to us from the ages of 2 all the way up to the ages of 12. 60% of our children have come from families that have limited financial resources, so it's really a big part of our mission to make sure that all of those children have the success that they need and the foundation they need so they can go on to kindergarten and it be seamless as far as going into school, and then giving those foundations, those social and emotional foundations, so that they're successful throughout their entire lifespan.
And you've been around for a long time.
We have. The center was actually one of the first early childhood centers in the McLean area, and we've been in existence for 47 years.
And while you serve all children, I think you mentioned that some of the spots are dedicated.
Right. Our mission is actually that 60% of our children come from families with limited financial resources. So they are actually reserved, those spaces are reserved for children that go through the Office for Children Child Subsidy Program. And they're able to come into our program and receive the same high quality education as our full fee families do.
Great. Tell us specifically about some of your programs and services.
Sure. We actually use a bilingual curriculum. So we are working with children from where they're coming from. This year we actually have 20 different languages at our center, but we use a Spanish and English bilingual curriculum because the majority of our students that come in, a lot of them come in not speaking English. They're speaking Spanish as their first language. When you're teaching children under the age of 5, content is more important than language is a lot of times. So our teachers really work with our children to make sure they're learning the content that they need to know as far as their social and emotional development, learning to get along with their friends, learning what emotional regulants are, understanding your feelings of being hurt and angry and those kind of things. We actually teach that in the home language. And then we are also teaching English skills to our immigrant children that come in not speaking English. But simultaneously, our children that are speaking English receive those Spanish classes and those Spanish lessons. So when children graduate, they are speaking both English and Spanish, which is a really unique characteristic for early childhood education. We also provide early intervention services for our children, which includes speech therapy, occupational therapy, behavioral therapy, depending on what their specific needs are. Because again, our mission is to make sure that that foundation is laid so that they can be successful in school. And what we have found and what we know as a society is the earlier we can detect issues and make sure they get the support that they need, the better they are at being successful later on in life.
That's terrific. And even though you're in Lemon Road Elementary, you're not funded by the Fairfax County Public Schools. You operate on your own. So how do you operate and how are you funded?
We are a private nonprofit organization. So we have about 2/3 of our income comes from tuition fees, and that is made up of both the full fee tuition as well as the subsidy tuition that we receive from the county and the state. In addition to that, we raise $400,000 a year in private donations, grant funds, and a lot of that funding comes in the form of private donations. Really, our community supporting our children and making sure that our children have that foundation they need.
And so how can our viewers help support you? I mean, $400,000 is a lot of money you have to raise every year. So I'm sure you would love the support of corporations and groups and individuals who are watching to fund through cash and in kind your efforts.
Yes, definitely. We actually are always looking for new interested community members that are willing to donate to us, as well as businesses, and looking for businesses to partner with us in the forms of donations. Donations are always accepted, if they are money or if they are snacks or food or even volunteer service is great. Any kind of philanthropy that people can show is always a positive for our program, and our children benefit from it in every way possible.
And the volunteers can do a wide range of activities,
yes,
right?
Yes, whatever your talents are, we'll put them to work. We've had volunteers from George Mason that have come in the engineer department and have taught the kids how to make light bulbs out of a piece of paper. We have older residents that come in and read stories to our children, or maybe do an art and craft with the children. Whatever the talents are that people have, we definitely can put them to use. We had a business group that came in and helped us to reorganize our storage area and wash our bus for us, things that sometimes get overlooked. So any kind of volunteer services.
That's great. And I know you have a big event coming up in the fall, the Teddy Bear 5K, but that information and all the information about the Falls Church-McLean Children's Center can be found at
www.fcmlcc.org.
Great, and that's up on our screen right now as well.
Yes, great.
Kathy Banks, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck to the Falls Church-McLean Children's Center.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the work you do. When we return, Innova's Life with Cancer Center is a resource for individuals and families affected by cancer. We'll hear about the many programs and services they're providing here in the Northern Virginia community and what's in store for their future. There's more Cox Connections after the break.